So as I sort of closed out the last video, I hinted at what this one was going to be about, and this is really sort of tagging on to that longer question from a subscriber, and that's really about does 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 financial freedom or does the long process of being a landlord with small slivers of cash flow and inflation and all of that, does it have to take 15 years, right? Um, and again, 15 years, if you haven't heard our story, that's how long it took us. And the simple answer is no. The key to this game, and there is only one, is you have to have monthly positive cash flow coming in that exceeds your monthly bills, right? That's the only game in town. And I firmly believe that most of you watching this, if you really sat back and looked at your monthly expenses, you would see that it could take you as little as 7 or 8 years, right? You could cut our time in half, right? We happen to live in the Silicon Valley, where the real estate is ridiculously expensive. We have chosen to stay put in a condo. That's allowed us to at least keep our mortgage payment, or when we had one, at a reasonable level. But we could have certainly sold, moved somewhere cheaper, and been out sooner. That was a conscious choice we made as a couple, right? But the key to this, again, is if you could go in and look at your monthly expenses, and if you could get your monthly expenses down to, I don't know, pick a number, 2,500, 3,000. This game of being a landlord and having passive income gets pretty exciting, because I certainly believe if you went after this and you really made some sacrifices, because again, I understand that the whole middle class mindset of buy nice things and all of that can take over. But if you got focused on being financially free and retiring early, as they talk about in the FIRE movement, FIRE meaning financially independent, retire early, if you didn't pick that up, is reducing your monthly expenses, right? If you follow it, you cut cable, right? Why do you need cable? There's just lots of things you could do to really make choices, which are at your disposal, to reduce your monthly expenses. You could move into a smaller unit, right? If you're in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, go to a studio, share, house hack, as they say, right? So this is all trade-off, right? If you're willing to reduce your expenses and have others help you pay for and have roommates, your chances of being done early are great, right? I couldn't imagine what it would have been like if somebody goes after this aggressively and house hacks and, just does other things, and, you could get done really early. Then what you could do is you could focus on what we're doing now, and that's creating chunk money along with your passive investments. And then you could really things can get really exciting. So I guess I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to take 15 years. I guess the last thing to round this out is there's actually a game produced by Rich Dad Poor Dad called Cash Flow. And if you've ever played that game, you'll know what I'm about to say. And if you haven't, here's the kind of crux of it. One of the things you have to do in that game is you pick a job, right? I think they range from like school teacher, police officer, construction worker, doctor, lawyer, business person, and there's 5 or 6 others that escape me. But the whole, what you learn when you pay it a couple times, and I must have played it 50 or 100 times now, is your lower your income, the lower your expenses, and the faster you get out. For example, just picking 2 professions, right? If you're a police officer versus a lawyer, 9 times out of 10, the police officer is going to get out of the rat race first, because their income is lower and they don't need as many purchases to get out of the rat race, right? And I think in the cash flow game, a police officer needs probably $2,400 a month, where the doctor/lawyer needs like $6,000. And, it just takes longer for the doctor or the lawyer to get out. Plus their kids are more expensive. Their doodads are more expensive. That's the key to this, is if you can get your expenses lower, you will get out of the rat race faster. It is that simple. Just most of us aren't willing to make the sacrifices and the hard choices. But I can tell you, if you do, you will get out of the rat race really fast. Have a great day.